Hi, my name is Luisa. Today I would like to show you a really cool feature of the DeePathology STUDIO, the gallery. You can use the gallery to quickly annotate high numbers of objects in your slides. I will show you this on the following project. This is a mouse brain section that has been stained against neun, a marker for neurons. So I have two categories. One is background and the other one is neurons. And what we're going to detect is all these brown cells, which are neurons. To get the gallery started, first I will see if the standard boundary detector detects my objects. And for that, I will choose a small field of view and just apply the algorithm by pressing run. And what we'll see now is that even though we haven't taught it anything yet, it should already recognize all our cells. You can see that here. Of course, it doesn't yet know how to classify them, what is background and what is a neuron, but we're going to teach it in the gallery. So here you can see this is the gallery. The studio will show you patches from around all your slides, and you can classify them here. Each patch contains one object here in the center inside the orange frame. And it's always this object we're going to classify. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start classifying, and then we'll see that the patches shown here are coming in three different phases. In the first phase, which you can see here, it just shows random patches because it has no idea what I'm actually looking for. In the second phase, the studio will show patches containing objects from underrepresented categories. And in the third phase, it will start showing confusing data. These are objects where the studio isn't really confident in predicting the category. So I'm going to get started, and I'm just using the keyboard with my arrow keys and the number keys. And I'm just going to quickly categorize everything here. Most of it is, of course, background, because the objects come randomly, and of course, the slides contain much more background than actual neurons. If I'm not sure, for example, some of these blurry objects here, maybe I'm not so sure, I can go with a right click exactly to the location where the object comes from, and I can decide maybe with a little bit of context, is it actually a neuron or not? So in this case, I would say yes. It's just that it's a bit out of focus. So I'm going to work my way through. And now what you see is that we're already entering phase 2, because now almost all the objects that I'm seeing here are actually neurons. And this is because in the beginning we have annotated, as you can see here from the counter in the top left corner, we've annotated 72 background objects, but we had only, well, now it's 48, but it was of course much less before we got these more targeted patches. So this will help to create a balanced data set. And it's also much faster because all I have to do is pressing a key and the same number every single time. And of course, it's not necessary to classify every single object. So if you're not really sure, is it a neuron, is it not, you can always just skip this object and not annotate it at all. For example, here, I mean, it's probably part of a neuron, but I don't really like the object, so I'm not going to classify it. So this way, we have just used very little time, and we have now increased the number of annotated neurons to 176. So if I feel that I've maybe been doing this for a while, I have quite a few objects and my algorithm is quite confident, then I can use another feature to speed up the annotation process even further. And this is the AI mode. If I switch it on, what you'll see is when I'm scrolling down, that new objects are automatically added to the training dataset in the category the algorithm predicts. So of course, this may be wrong. I mean, let's just scroll a little bit. For example, here, I think this is actually just something, not a neuron. So I'll just correct the AI by categorizing it as background. And you see that we've just been scrolling a little bit. And suddenly we have almost 400 objects in this category. Of course, again, we need to correct. We can do this here in the gallery, or even more efficiently, we can do this in annotation review, where we can look at all neurons, and the studio will show us the mistakes, usually in the very beginning, because it organizes these patches in the annotation review by the how confident it is for that it belongs to the specific category. So here, this is clearly a mistake. So I will just change it and I can refresh to, let's see, also this I think is a mistake. And I think even here it's kind of a neuron, but not really. So I'm just going to remove it and not have it in there. So there you have it. The gallery is a really fast way to annotate large amounts of data in the DeePathology Studio.